thank you so much for joining us tonight. My first question for you is, were you surprised about the basket at your door?
I was pleasantly so, because that day I had woken up with horrendous migraine. So I was sitting on the couch feeling terribly sad and sorry for myself, having taken the necessary drugs and stuff, and saying, I wish I could go. I'm not one of those people that can sleep during the day, unfortunately. Once I'm up, I'm up, which is really, really annoying. So I'm lying on the couch feeling so totally sorry for yourself, and then I see a lady actually come up the stairs. As I saw the pink basket, and I know what this is. And all of a sudden I started to feel better. Just having that, oh my God, I'm finally a recipient. I got it. It's here. I get to have a look at it. And it did. It really made my day. It so made my day.
Oh, that's
Did it make Mike go away?
It took a bit. But just for that.
Nice distraction, I suppose.
It was a really nice distraction, and just for that short period of time, it was like, yeah, okay, there's no pain now because it's the basket.
It's the basket. Well, that's awesome. And how did you find out about the basket?
I was actually on your on one of your Friday night shares, I think it was, when you were talking. You had the idea and you were talking about doing it.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was the best idea ever.
Yes,
particularly because how we were all feeling with lockdown, and it's an opportunity to look forward to something when there just hasn't been that much to look forward to lately. Yes. And to be able to then see what the clever ladies before me had popped in, and marvel over the yarn. So yeah, look, I was in on almost the ground floor on that one, so I was just super excited to be part of it all.
Oh, perfect. And the next question is, the basket brings some joy to your week?
I think we can say yes. I think we can say yes on that one.
And when did you learn to knit or crochet? You spoke a little bit about that before.
I remember, it's one of those things. I know I was knitting as a teenager because I made a great big cape, almost a turtleneck jumper, which I absolutely hated, and a teddy bear, which I still have the teddy bear actually. So I know I was knitting at that point. And every so often I would pick up a crochet hook and have another crack at it. But I didn't really start really getting into it properly again until 2016, 2017. It's a group of us at work who are crafters. We're knitters, we're crocheters, and one of our colleagues at the time was pregnant, and one of them had the idea, said, how about we all make a square and we'll make it into a blanket. Sounds familiar. And we'll give the blanket to the expectant parent as a baby gift. And I thought that was just like the best idea, because I couldn't tell you what I got for gifts from work for my two boys, because it was just that generic kind of stuff. And so I started to YouTube and look things up and try and learn, because I wanted to, this is an opportunity. It was an 8x8 square. Let's practice, let's try something. And I found a crochet along that was happening that was doing a series of squares. I like the look of that square, I'll give it a crack. And the next thing you know, I got fully into this crochet along and ended up making 2 blankets. Now, if you had said to me at the time, Amanda, I want you to make a blanket, I would have turned around and said, no, that's too big.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But because it was just one thing a week,
yeah,
and it was fairly basic stitches, it was, so I'm going to talk in US terms because I have troubles translating sometimes. So US double stitch and single stitch and chain, and all, as long as you knew how to do that, you could do these patterns.
Perfect.
And I learnt so much from it. And then, of course, I found Sophie's Universe.
Oh.
Well, and I've got 2 Sophies now. So, and again,
perfect.
I did them purely because I wanted to know if I could do them, not because I had anybody in mind. And both of them I started in 2017. One of them I finished last year because they kept getting put in the corner as I got distracted with other patterns. As Angie was saying before, you know, you get things, oh, I like that. And then the other one I finished this year. So I finally got both of them done. And the cotton one weighs 1.8 kilos.
Oh,
It's a heavy dye kit.
Project.
Yeah, great project. So I think my mum
that's awesome.
taught me how to crochet because she taught herself, and she holds her yarn and her hook the same way I do. So I figure that's where I learnt it. My grandmother used to have a go at me all the time and turn around and say, "Don't hold your hook like that, you can't hand it."
I don't think it matters how you hold your hook, and I never care as long as people are happy. That's all that matters. And you're obviously
my grandmother was a special kind of lady.
We hear this all the time in the shop about people getting told off about how they held things and all that, and I feel like that's just counterproductive. Just hold it however you want, as long as you can do it and you enjoy it. That's all that really matters.
Exactly.
And it sounds like that was a quite a nice bonding thing that you shared with your work colleagues at the time. Did you find it improved your work relationship with that sort of thing?
Look, it really gave us something to talk about. We've now made 11 blankets.
Wow.
In that time period, one of which was actually made to be a charity, to be given to a charity for auction and sold for $1,000.
Wow.
So,
wow.
and we felt really, there was a big sense of achievement for that particular group of ladies. One of the expectant parents was a dad. He learned how to knit so he could contribute a square for his baby's blanket.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
So, because it's now the expected, everybody, when they know that they're going to get a blanket, whereas at least for the first 2 or 3, they didn't. It was an unexpected thing, but now everybody gets one.
Blanket's getting better.
We've got one lady who's actually got her order in for when she retires. She wants a retirement blanket.
I love that. Oh, that's gorgeous. That must build a lot of interest in the workplace with at least having those conversations with each other and all that organising. It must make work life a little bit more fun.
It does. It gives you something else to talk about. Yeah,
that's right, because we all need a break from, just the work stuff, don't we? It sounds awesome. And tell us about your square that you made for the blanket. It's gorgeous. Some people may have seen it on social media. It was posted up a few days ago in the stories. Super colourful and gorgeous.
Yes. Well, the day I got the basket, I had to put in a click and collect order for Spotlight because I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was Spotlight, ladies. Please forgive me. I don't normally use wool. I tend to use cotton and bamboo.
Yeah, nice.
So I didn't have any pure wool in the house, and I needed some pure wool. So I went out and grabbed. I put a click and collect order in, like within a half an hour of the basket arriving on my doorstep. Unfortunately, Spotlight really came to the party for me, and I got my text message 3 hours later saying, "Come and get it."
Oh, wow. That's fast.
Yeah, well, I was very surprised. And it was actually the pattern. It's a pattern I've used before, and I quite like it. If I had my druthers, I'd probably do it differently, because the instructions in the basket said, make sure it's colourful, which is why I went for the yarn.
Yeah.
Which is that stuff again. But I think it doesn't do justice to the stitching.
No, it never does when you put
so that's why it works better in what I'm making now. So for those of you who can see, that's a combination of 2 different colours, and that works. It looks all right. Yeah. But by itself, it's
lovely though.
Well,
yeah,
sorry?
the square looks lovely, but I think it's like the old thing when you use a lovely pattern and then you add a multicolored yarn, you sometimes take away from seeing the pattern because it's over,
You do.
it's too much going on sort of thing. But it looks gorgeous and it's going to look fantastic in the blanket. And it's going to be one happy but I can't wait to see it all joined up. All the squares are looking very happy, which is what we were looking for in this dull time. So you've really aced it. Well done. And do you have a creative space or do you just hang out anywhere in your home to do?
Anywhere in my home. 9 times out of 10, I've got a chair in the lounge room, and I've got, I think I have an IKEA planter box on the stand, and it's great because it's got sides that are about this big, so I can put things in it without them falling over, and it's thin enough because my chair sits in the walkway to go through to other parts of the house, so I can't have something big next to my chair because the boys will sit and complain and say, I can't get through, why are you making space so small? So, but look, it also means, and I've got my baskets.
Yep.
I love this basket, ladies. It is my favouriteest basket in the whole wide world.
Yeah,
the best.
one I prepared earlier.
Whoops, we're frozen.
And that basket goes with, that's always got my current project in it. And that means then that I can move.
This has got, oh goodness me. We're all basket.
Yeah, that means I can move from the lounge room to the kitchen to the bedroom and just take my project with me, and I'm happy and content that way. So
perfect. That's awesome. I love how we're all basket ladies. We all just bring out our really are basket ladies, aren't we?
Yeah, we are closet basket ladies. I've actually got 2 of those baskets as well myself, and I adore them. Adore them. I love how you can pack them full. I've worked out I can fit about 5 projects in there at once, and my other little bits and pieces, and I can chuck it in the footwell of the passenger side, and it doesn't fall over while I'm driving. And it is a win.
Exactly.
I love. And we've got lots of people on comments saying how they've got one of those, and they always have a project in the basket and they take it everywhere, and that they love them. Now, those baskets, for anyone that's wondering, are the Robert Gordon Kane baskets. I'm not sure off the top of my head whether or not they're on our online store, but if they're not, when I get off here, I will try and push them over to the online store so that you can all have a look. But they are 100% one of those knitters accessories that you will not regret purchasing.
Oh, definitely. I actually need to get another one. It's just not enough, Kate. I'm sorry.
And Robin, did you just see the message about your blanket?
Yeah, and I'll show that after I finish just getting through my question. Get totally sidetracked. So thank you for that. So what is your favourite make that you've made? Have you got a favourite?
From a visual perspective, my Sophies. I'm so proud of them. There's so much effort and
amazing.
Frogging and cursing and everything that's gone into those blasted blankets. They look awesome.
They do.
The other one I'm actually quite fond of, and I gave it to my mum, and it's a filet crochet of a Buddha on a lotus.
Nice.
So a Buddha sitting in a lotus position on a lotus flower, and I've done that in a color gradient, a rainbow color gradient that matches the chakras. So it starts down the bottom and then goes, and it looks superb. Unfortunately, the pictures that I've got of it just don't do it justice. And of course, my latest favourite is this.
Ooh.
So I just finished making that.
That's gorgeous.
Which was an absolute pain to block.
What is that?
That's it's a hobby Hobby Twister.
Yep.
I got, it was one of the, they do those mystery packs, which is basically mill ends.
Yeah.
And this colorway was a mill end, and I love the colors. It just looks so superb.
Gorgeous.
And particularly because the last two pieces I'd done before this were things that I was making for my sisters-in-law, and for some reason I just wasn't getting that same level of enjoyment from them. They became a chore.
Yeah.
So to be able to do this just for the love of it was just, yay.
Yeah.
So
nice.
yeah.
Perfect. Looks gorgeous. And do you have a special making memory? I suppose, I reckon it must be that lady blanket that you made with no.
Yeah, look at it. I think it is the baby blankets with everybody, with my friends at work, and what we've been able to achieve, and particularly, actually, you know, I think that the charity blanket that we made, and the fact that it sold for, I thought maybe you might get $100, $200 for it, but the fact that they managed, that particular charity was able to get $1,000 for it, just blew my mind. And I just thought, yeah, that's a win.
It's a beautiful story. That's amazing. It's been something real. Yeah, that would be a fantastic making memory.
Yeah.
And what does unwinding bring to your life?
Sanity.
Yeah.
Sanity, calmness.
Yeah.
I find if I don't crochet every day, I get upset. I get
agitated,
wound up. Excusing the pun. I have to crochet. I can't watch television without crocheting anymore. I have to constantly have something in my hands. Yeah. I go to watch my boys play basketball. I'm crocheting while I'm watching the boys play basketball. And it stops me from yelling at the umpires then. But it's also, I found it a way to connect with other people. I'll be sitting, there's one piece of work that I did, it was a baby blanket for a friend. And I was using that, you know, that bobble yarn, the pom-poms, and then you get the little...
Yep.
Yeah, so I made a baby blanket using, by mixing that with the plain yarn. So you end up with a very textured look. It looks absolutely fabulous, but it's so simple to do. I'm sitting in the basketball court knitting, crocheting this, and I have this woman come up to me and said, that should be in the Melbourne show. It looks awesome. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, but it's so blasted simple.
Doesn't always have to be difficult.
But it started a conversation, and we ended up having this conversation that lasted way past the basketball game.
Yeah.
Because people will come up and talk to me. I mean, even when I took my youngest to get his first jab at the Campbellfield drive-through, and one of the traffic coordinators came up and, I could see you crocheting there. And I looked at him and I thought, you actually knew that I was crocheting? Most people turn around and say, oh, you're knitting, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I said to him, was it your wife or your mum that used to crochet? And he said, it was mum.
Now please, it could have been him. You know, there's a lot of boys that crochet these days.
And I'm really pleased to see that more and more on the Facebook pages that I'm on. I'm seeing men who are popping up and they're showing their work and showing their creativeness as well. And I just think it's awesome.
So do we. We think
I'm down with it.
Yeah, we love it. We do. And
as a child,
that's what we get to see at Unwind all the time, just people that come in, and it just breaks down barriers for conversations. Like, you know, it's like conversation just flows so much easier when people have that to talk about. It's just such an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And where am I? Has unwinding helped you socially or improved your mental health? I think you've touched on a little bit of already, which we find happens as I get to these questions, but yeah. And what would you say to someone who's thinking of starting a yarn hobby?
have fun.
Yeah.
Don't put expectations on yourself.
Yep.
I think one of the things that I so love about having picked up crochet in this time and place is that because of social media with Facebook and the various groups and stuff, instead of having just one auntie or sister or grandma who's able to help me with something, I've got a whole village of them. All I've got to do is pop something up on a page and say, look, I'm struggling with this. Can you help me? And I've got an answer.
Yeah.
And I've seen instances on Facebook where people have private messaged each other afterwards, and it's turned into a life-changing event for those two people, because some stranger reached out and said, here, I'll help you.
Yeah.
And I think that level of connection is, it's not that many areas where that I've seen that happen. It's just so lovely. I mean, even what you guys have been building with your business, it's more than a business. You're building a village of people, and it's the best thing ever.
It is, and we feel very blessed to be part of some of the things we've seen. Blows my mind, the stories I could tell. It's lovely to see people come in as total strangers and just have open conversations. Hardly see anyone on devices when they're at Unwind. You might see the odd person pull up a pattern or something, but you go to another cafe and you just see people totally involved in their own little table and on their devices when they're on their own and stuff like that. But Unwind, there's just this whole sharing thing going on, which I never experience anywhere else, and it's lovely to be part of that.
I used to find that when I was traveling into the city for work, I would have my crochet with me, and again, you'd get that conversation starting, because for those of us who do travel by train, as you're saying, Robin, everybody's sitting there with their heads in their phones. There's no connection going on. There's no awareness of what's happening around you, and you miss out on stuff. So it's
definitely,
it's a great way of becoming more present, and becoming more calm, I think. Although Peter might argue with me when I sat there and frogged out 4 rows or something.
I agree.
We have to let it out sometimes, we can't be perfect.
We're just
sorry. And what did you enjoy most about the Unwind Basket project?
Just the opportunity to be part of something amazing. This is great.
Oh, thanks so much. And you actually ended up with the basket for an extra week because we were a little bit worn out after a pretty crazy week. So thank you so much for being such a great basket lady. And I do have a little funny story. You know how you did that gorgeous little video of dropping off your basket. I don't know whether I should enlighten you on what happened after that, because it was quite a week. I got a call.
I did get the right door, didn't I?
You did the perfect job. You got it to the right address, the right door, the right everything, but the basket recipient had moved house. So I get a call. I'm at the shop and I get a call from an unknown number, and I'm like, I'm not out. Kate goes, answer it, because we were expecting something, and I'm like, all right, I answer it, and it's like some Marcus on the other end of the phone going, I've got this pink basket at my door. I think it belongs to someone else, but they've moved. I've just moved into this house. I'm like, oh God, you're kidding me. And I'm like, Kate and I are trying to figure out, oh God, how can we pick up the basket, get it to another, and we're like trying to have this last minute meltdown. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. We're supposed to be heading home and all of that.
We asked Mark whether or not he knows how to knit crochet. You don't know how to knit or crochet, do you?
Kate's I'm on the phone and she's going, ask him if he knits. I'm like, we can't. He's not up for it, I'm telling you. He just wants to find who the basket has to go to. So in the end, and mind you, I was more pissed off that I'd spent about 2 hours trying to get the social media post up onto Instagram wherever else, and the basket's being seen. And the person who lived at that house, who was meant to get the basket, saw the social media post and went, I think the basket's gone to my house, but I don't live there anymore. I've got a message via social media. So anyway, she's seen her and so excited that it was going to her, and said, I'll go and pick it up. So she went and picked it up from her old house.
Yeah.
And sent me a photo of her with her basket at the door at her old house.
Yeah.
So,
That's so funny.
After all of that, the basket, they found each other. So it turned out all well in the end. So
Well, it's awesome that Marcus was nice enough to actually get in touch with you guys rather than saying, what is this crap?
I know. He was actually quite concerned about the basket, because I said, oh, leave it out the front, you know, one of us will come by and pick it up. He goes, oh, I don't think I should leave it out the front. He goes, it might not be there. Like, you can see the pink basket.
Marcus.
Okay. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, Marcus, maybe I'll text message you when I'm on my way and you can just pop it back out the front. Or he's like, yeah, fine, just give me a text message and I'll make sure the basket's out the front when you're heading off. So everyone was about the pink basket, but it did find its way to its right recipient. But
that is just funny.
Oh, you're kidding me.
I feel like we could drop a cake off at Marcus's house this week, Robin.
Yeah, we might. Yeah, he was awfully lovely. He was awfully lovely. So there's always a good basket story, which is a lot of fun. Very good. And
I actually wonder how he's described that experience to people in his life about this pink basket and these nutty as hell women who were like, we'll come and get it. And he's like, well, I don't want to be responsible if it gets stolen. Like,
yeah. What's even funny was that you'll know from the photos that the basket was looking glorious with a little bunch of lavender on the top. So
yeah, looking beautiful.
Like that to your workmates when you go to work the next day.
Yeah, I know. It's like, anyway, it found its rightful owner. She was chuffed. She couldn't wait to get there. She took off straight away and went and collected the basket. I messaged him. I reckon she got there before I messaged him, to be honest. I'm like, oh God, I've got to make that message. She's already in the car. So hopefully, I'm thinking, geez, I hope Marcus got the message before she belted the door down. But anyway, it all worked out in the end. The basket found its rightful owner for the week.
I'm waiting for the basket to land on my door and I'll deliver it back to Unwind in person.
Oh well,
let's fly it back.
Right, it's our mission, ladies. Let's get the Gary's house.
To me.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Well, the basket can move a little bit further now in Melbourne. It can go 15 kilometres. So, you know, it's a long way to where you are. But, you know,
it can't cross the border yet. And that's my concern.
I know. Oh,
well, no, all it's got to do is find its way up to Wodonga. And then you can sort of have that physical handover across the orange barriers.
Oh, we've got to do that. Imagine that.
That'd work. Yeah, you do the same thing between New South Wales and Queensland.
Perfect. Yeah, no, Queensland, like, because that's where I'm trying to go back to see family. They're like, bom, bom. Like, I imagine a wall.
Yeah,
there's orange barricades, but you've got families meeting on each side and using the barricade as a table to have picnics.
And handing the kids over too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it could be a basket that you hand over the barricade, surely.
Exactly.
Yeah. That'd work.
That's our aim now. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And I'll jump on a plane and bring it back personally.
Oh, stop teasing us, Kerry.
Well, it'd be lovely to see the basket go right around Australia. You know, like, I think it's just something that we should continue even when when we do open up, because I just think it's shedding some light wherever it's going. So it'll be fun to see where it goes. But
Lisa from
asking in the UK
whether or not it can get to the UK.
Oh wow!
I'm planning on going to the UK next year because I don't know if you know, I bought ABBA tickets.
Oh, we know, Shazza.
Yeah, we know.
We've been trying to hide it to save face for Unwind.
Oh, come on.
You'll be able to roller skate in.
Oh, Angie, your ideas.
Oh, I just know you, Shazanator.
Oh,
Like,
Karen's saying that she will fly.
Oh, nice. Go, Karen. I'll be with you.
Karen's saying that she'll fly it up to you when we're allowed.
Don't fly it, Karen. Take your van. It's time you guys were out on the road again. No.
Yeah, once you're safe, once it's safe. I reckon it'll get
Let's
around
make a
once it's safe.
convoy.
You and your convoys. Have a look at it. Yeah.
Caravan convoy.
Karen,
Well-
come on up and play on my bin chicken.
I don't trust your bin chicken.
hey, Karen, even though we're not Facebook friends, you know, that whole weird personal message thing, I'll come in the caravan. Like, I'm there
No.
with you. Like, I'm
No.
totes there. Yeah.
You
Thanks,
did that
Karen.
for Angie.
Thanks, Karen. Love you.
No, you did that for Angie. It's over with you and Karen now. Karen's moved on to me.
So Amanda, before I close off, I'd just like to thank you so much for being a great basket lady. It's been a real pleasure, and we hope it did bring you some much needed joy at this tricky time. So thanks so much for joining us tonight as well.